Hey everybody, I'm B. Jemine, aka The Terrible Australian of Supermarcy.com, and welcome to my video review of director Werner Herzog's latest film, the historical biopic Queen of the Desert. So let's get right into it. Now, even though I haven't seen a whole lot of Werner Herzog's films, but of most of the ones that I have seen so far, I have really liked, like Fitzcarraldo, Bad Lieutenant Port of Call, New Orleans, Rescue Dawn, Aguirre, The Wrath of God. Really great films, but I just really love Werner, not just as a director, but also as a person as well. I just find him really fascinating, and anytime he just talks, like in an interview or anything like that, I just have to sit there and read it because he's just a fascinating person that who has great insight, not only films, but he also had this kind of really bizarre element to him as well that makes me just really interested in him but not as a filmmaker, but as a person. But so anytime I know a film is coming out, whether it's a sort of a feature-length film or a documentary or whatnot, I definitely have to check it out. And he's back right now with his latest film, which is his first, I guess, non-documentary film in quite a few years, and that of course is his latest film, Queen of the Desert, which of course is a historical biopic that sort of delves into the life of British writer, explorer, and political officer Gertrude Bell, who in the film is played by Nicole Kidman. So, what did I think of the film? I have to say, even though, like I said before, I haven't seen a whole lot of Werner's films, but of all the films that I've seen of his so far, he's definitely got such a really interesting eye as a director, because he finds these stories that are kind of so off-kilter and bizarre, but they have so much sort of humanity to them. But Queen of the Desert, in a lot of ways, is probably like his most conservative film that he's made, well, that I've seen of him made so far. And because if I didn't know Werner Herzog actually directed this film, I could have sworn it had been directed by somebody else, like a John Madden or a Tom Hooper or someone like that. That's the kind of film it is. And yeah, in a lot of ways, even though there are a lot of things about the film that I really liked, like I thought Nicole Kidman did a really great job with her performance as Gertrude Bell. She did have little moments off here and there at the beginning, but once she sort of got into the role, I just found her really good, and I just found her character really compelling, and sort of what she goes through during the course of the film, being this sort of like very independent, very intelligent woman who wants more than life than just being, kind of stuck at home and wanting to get married and stuff like that. She wants to go out and see the world and experience it and learn more from it. So we definitely feel for her from the very beginning and see where she wants to go with her life. And sort of once she actually heads off on her journey, we've sort of followed her as she sort of finds herself and finds her purpose in life. And to me, that kind of sort of character arc is always very compelling for me, and it is during the course of this film. But there are some aspects of it I didn't think quite work, like for example, once sort of Gertrude sort of sets out on a journey, sort of meeting all these different tribes in the desert, in sort of like in the Middle East and in Africa and a few other places. It does get really repetitive, because it's just pretty much her because she's sort of going back and forth between all these different tribes and sort of helping to sort of bring peace among them and whatnot. But at the same time, though, the film does a great job at sort of showcasing how much they had respect for Gertrude, not just as a woman, but as a person as well, and sort of because they knew how much that she understood them and their ways and their culture and whatnot. So, which actually I found really inspiring in a lot of ways, and it makes me sad that more people today can't be like that in terms of. So, but I digress. But in terms of sort of negatives, though, I other than sort of the repetitiveness of the sort of the plot, like it doesn't sort of feel. I kind of wish they did more with it. Like, I wish Werner sort of delved into more of the story, and because after a while, like, it is a sort of an over 2 hour long film, but I think it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I feel like it could have easily have been trimmed by maybe 15-20 minutes or so, because there are moments where it does drag. And also there are some performances in that I felt were a bit miscast. Like, for example, James Franco, who plays a character who sort of becomes that Nicole Kidman falls in love with. And James Franco tries, and he goes with a British accent as well, but unfortunately I just kind of felt like he was very miscast and out of place in this film. Originally, I think Jude Law was originally supposed to play this role before he had to drop out, so it actually made more sense if he played the character. But James Franco just feels, yeah, he doesn't belong in the film. Not this, like, he does try, I give him that, but unfortunately he just feels out of place. And Robert Pattinson does pretty well in the role of T. Lawrence. Of course, is, you know, the real life person that Peter O'Toole played in Lawrence of Arabia. And actually, Robert Pattinson, he's not in the movie much, but he actually does a pretty solid job as well. And he's a good sort of comrade to Gertrude during the film. The film looks great. The cinematography is really top notch, particularly the scenes in the desert. Although when it comes to sort of like interior scenes, it does makes the film look slightly cheap, but other times it does look great. But I think it was mainly to, you know, the digital photography and all that as well. So, but once it's outside, it just looks great, and the score pretty solid. And I do admire sort of Werner Herzog going for a more sort of classical feel with this film, but at the same time, it kind of just made the film really conservative in a lot of ways. Not to say that's a bad thing, it just feels kind of safe, and like kind of all the costume dramas and all that get accused of that over the years, and it kind of feels like it would have played better on TV rather than in the cinema. So yeah, if I had to rate Queen of the Desert, I give it a solid 3 stars. There are good things about it, but it's not as great as it could have been. So yep, that's the end of my video review of Queen of the Desert. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone.